Hi, I'm Renee.
And I'm Debbie. And together,
We
we
are
are
the
the
Round
Round
Table
Table
Recap.
Recap.
Hey, welcome back. We are on Traitors UK Season 3, Episode 9. I realize I've been saying Season 2 for the past couple episodes, so apologies for that. But anyways, we are kicking it off with breakfast, at which point they are trying to obviously figure out who was murdered the night before, which ends up being Lisa.
Yeah, I just put that, at least they were smart to go with Lisa because if you remember the three that they had narrowed it down to, two were on the team that went to the woods where
Hmm.
neither one was on that team, and Lisa was on the team in the castle, which was where the traitors were. So at least they took a sure thing instead of a shot in the dark.
Yeah, because actually one of those names that were mentioned was Jake, and he's the one who had the shield. So yeah, definitely they were smart.
Mhm.
And on top of
Yeah.
that, the traders do mention that they're right in regards to she's obviously observing more than what she's leading on and what she's saying. So I think it was really
Yeah.
smart of them to murder her while
Mhm.
they could.
Yes.
So I have that Leon is starting to look at Freddie and Frankie now as who he suspects. And
Hmm.
I don't
Yeah.
think it helps at this point in time where Frankie apologizes to the group at breakfast for basically misleading everyone and voting out Alex. And then I think Leanne is one who picks up on that and is like, suspecting Frankie more now because of this apology.
Yeah, it puts her in a bad light with some people, but I don't know. At the same time, she plays an honest game. She's always been transparent.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Some people see that, as her being transparent, and others see it as suspicious.
Yeah. I mean, if you look back at the other previous episodes, the apologies or bringing up things later on, I don't think ever go over well. Or maybe it's just because I'm
Right.
thinking of that Linda and the whole crying over the whole movie. I don't know, but it doesn't seem like I feel like just kind of like let it be. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know what's the
Right.
best play, but either way, you're not going to be in good light to everybody.
Yeah.
Um,
With the numbers getting down so low, they have to be more careful, I think, about what they say,
who they say it to.
because
Yeah.
yeah.
So after breakfast, really, I mean, it was like kind of short. I didn't really pick up on a whole lot of things. But after the breakfast I have before the mission, this is where I kind of was like, "Oh my gosh, here's Charlotte again." But anyway, so Charlotte, Leanne, and Alexander, they're playing, I believe it's badminton. And
Yes.
so Leanne and Charlotte's like, "Ooh, I suspect someone, but I don't want to throw out their name." And so they agreed to like say it on the count of three, who they
Right.
now suspect. And so Charlotte throws out Mina and
Hmm.
Leanne throws out Frankie. And I
Yeah.
mean, quickly, Charlotte recovers and was like, "Oh, I thought of Frankie earlier," and kind of
Mhm.
dismisses the whole Mina thing. But I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, there's Charlotte."
Well, I think she had said, I'm not sure at what point, but she had said that she had wanted to plant seeds about Mina. Charlotte was worried about her name coming up at the round table. And so she didn't want to be a target. So, yeah, she was going to direct it towards Mina if
Yeah.
if things went sideways at the round table for her. So I think she's just trying to think ahead for a backup plan. I don't I like Mina. I like the way that she has played the Traitors. Charlotte, I mean, right from the beginning, she's been deceptive. So I don't know. I don't really care for. Maybe it's because I like Mina so much. I don't
I
really care for the way Charlotte's playing.
Yeah, I think I'm a little biased in that aspect too, because I'm like, Mina deserves to be here. She's actually worked her way,
Mhm.
I feel, up to this point. And I don't know if it's later on in this episode, but basically, Charlotte, they both do a confessional, and Mina goes, I really trust Charlotte. I feel like we can take each other to the end. And then
Right.
there's Charlotte, who's like, I don't trust Mina. She shouldn't trust me. And at some point, the other one's got to go. So
Right.
definitely they're in two different mindsets. And I'm like, "Ugh, I like Mina."
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
again, that might
Well,
be just bias.
one's been a traitor from the beginning, and the other one
Yeah.
was given an ultimatum. So there's a difference there, and I guess their gameplay. But yes,
Yeah. And
it's
I mean,
yeah.
removing everything, I can't blame Charlotte for being how she is because it is dwindled down and being recruited this late in the game. You definitely have to
Mhm.
watch your back or think of like, well, why did she really pick me? And can I believe what she says? So I
Right.
get it. I get it, but I don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And then meanwhile, I have that Joe, Frankie, and Freddie. Well, Freddie brings up about Mina. He still suspects her, and so the three of them were talking about Mina as a possible traitor.
yeah, because I have a Frankie, Joe, and Leon. They discuss both Charlotte and Mina as possible traitors.
Okay.
So, I mean, I think it's just at this point, everyone, like I said, are suspecting everybody who maybe people haven't been looking or, been under the radar beforehand. And so then I
People
have
who
they,
people who have been under the radar.
well, they've been under the radar, but haven't in a while. Like Charlotte, it's been episodes since she's been under the radar. Mina,
Right.
I mean, Mina's been brought up, I think, once at the
Yeah.
round table, if that. So, I mean, at this point, everyone's been, I believe,
Hmm.
under the radar at some point, but just those two specifically is they haven't been
Yeah.
brought up in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I have the mission. Okay, so this mission is this one is an endurance basically match because
Hmm.
they're statues that are dissembled between heads and bodies, and basically they have to take up bodies and these heads up a mount or up the mountain. Oh please.
Hill.
Um I don't know if make it up a mountain. But oh yes, up a hill. And they basically have to build 5 statues, which will give them, 10,000 pounds. But it's a all or nothing mission, so if they don't do these statues, then nothing goes to the pot.
Mhm.
And the heads, though, have specific names on them, and so if they build a statue on a specific, what is it, platform,
Right.
this platform has a shield, so only one person is eligible for winning the shield.
Hmm.
And
Yep.
yeah, and right away, Freddie is like, I really want the shield.
Mhm.
But ultimately, the group decides, let's just get the bodies up there first, and then we
Right.
can discuss the heads later because I believe it's only 10 minutes they have in total to
Yeah.
do all of this. So it's a time crunch.
Yeah.
And they all basically struggle, especially with the bodies because it looks like the heaviest. But then once everyone gets those 5 bodies up there, then they go for the heads. Leanne goes for hers. She's the only one that decides to carry up her own head. I have Joe and Alexander. I believe they actually dropped their head.
Well,
Um,
yeah, and because well, somebody drops Alexander's because Jake is the one who takes Alexander's up the rest of the way.
yeah, because he didn't want to take that head, but he's like, how does it look when there's already one
Yeah.
that's halfway up?
Yeah, and Joe had Frankie's head, so he was the first up at the top of the hill with her head.
Yes. Oh, okay. Charlotte drops the head to help Frankie with hers. Oh my God, this is all combobulated. Where are we at? Okay, Leanne is the only one that takes her head. And then
Yes.
so the heads that end up being taken up are Joe Alexander's, Frankie, Freddie's, and
Hmm.
Leanne's. Those are the
Right.
5. And then once everyone's up the hill with all the heads, it's basically comes down to a vote. They vote for who
Mhm.
wants person to have a shield. Leanne right away is out of the running, but they essentially vote for Freddie. Which then Joe thinks it's weird that Leon, with him saying that he doesn't trust Freddie, he's like, "Why would you vote for Freddie and not for my head?" And so I know that gets brought up later, but essentially that's it. They get all the 5 statues, and then I have where they are headed back to the mansion or the
No,
castle. I'm sorry.
no, I mean, the one thing, of course, with bringing the statues up, that I was impressed with was, of course, Alexander was helping anybody who needed help. He was there helping them.
Oh
So
yeah, he's the one who did the most. He did 3 runs or
yeah,
3 bodies. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I was glad at least his head, was taken up the hill because I really thought he deserved a chance to get a shield. But with Leanne taking being the only one that took her own head, of course, that raises suspicion.
Mhm.
So,
That
yeah,
and
so
I was glad that she didn't get it because I did agree that
mhm,
somebody who hasn't had a shield before should have it, and,
right.
Leanne that's why she was ultimately out right away is because people were like, "Well, you've already
Hmm.
had a shield." So I kinda did
Yeah,
like at least they went that route, and then I thought by voting that was the fairest way to figure out who would get it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I thought they did a good job in deciding. But Leon, of course, yeah, he messed up in his vote, going for
Mhm.
Freddie. I mean, I know he tries to explain it away later, but it's, again, it just is suspicious because he didn't vote for Joe.
Yeah. So, yeah, I have on the ride back it's Charlotte, Freddie, and Alexander in one vehicle, and they discuss Frankie, at which
Hmm.
point Alexander is the only one that does not believe that she really is a traitor.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
here's Charlotte again trying to plant the seeds and brings up Mina, but she kind of
Mhm.
throws it out there like, but I don't really know.
I don't know. It's strange the way that she plants seeds because she's like throws something out there and then she retracts, and then throws something out there and retracts. It's like, if you're going to throw something out there, just go with it instead of this wishy washy.
Yeah. Yeah, she does. She throws out Mina's name, but then has nothing to back it up of rhyme or reason. It's just a,
Yeah.
"Oh, yeah, I'm suspecting Mina, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know." And then backs
Right.
up. And lets other
Yeah.
people kinda take the conversation away.
Yeah. I don't like that. I don't like that strategy. I mean, it's at least she has a strategy, but I don't like it.
Yeah, I agree. Then the other car has Leon, Frankie, and Joe, and they discuss Leanne bringing up her own head, which was
Right.
obviously an unpopular thing to do with the whole group, essentially.
Hmm.
This becomes an issue because then Leon goes to Leanne when they get back
Hmm.
and tells Leanne that they were discussing, that she was bringing up her own head. And this brings Leanne to confront, which I have actually is Joe that's in the room, Frankie and Charlotte. And they just basically say all they said was they wouldn't have taken their own head. And they asked Leanne, who's the one who went and told you, which then she says it's Leon. So now Frankie
Hmm.
is upset because she feels like she has been thrown under the bus by Leon.
Hmm. I mean, and it's funny because at the in I think his confessional, Leon said, for moving forward, he wanted to shake things up. So I don't know. I don't know if this was his strategy or if it was just his personality. But it was just weird that he says he wants to shake things up, and then things kind of go sideways for him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He said something about no playing nicey nice or something to
Right.
that extent. And yeah. So I guess this is
Yeah.
his way of saying like, well, things are going to be thrown out on the table, which I didn't understand it either. I'm like, it's
Yeah.
too early to play this aggressive. I don't even know what you want to call it.
Yeah. Well, I know like he didn't want to play with any team or anything. He was just for himself. He was there for his family. And yeah, I guess he just was going to create a little bit of chaos when needed.
Which is ironic because what's his name? I can't remember. The one who he left because at the round table, he essentially was like, I'm playing a selfish game. I'm not going to tell you all my cards. And they vote
Yeah.
him out
Dan.
because of that. Dan, yeah. And then it's like Leon is saying the same thing. And then even Leanne is saying the same thing with her not, with her playing a selfish game
Right.
because she
Right.
mentions it like later on. But yeah, there's more discussion I have, regarding Frankie being a possible traitor. And I think it's Jake who says that he really thinks that Charlotte, Mina, and Joe are all faithful. So those are his top three people. And then this is where Joe also confronts Leon about why did he vote for Freddie. And Leon is like, I didn't even hear your name. I thought it was a lose-lose situation because he thought it was between him and wait, was it Freddie and Frankie who were the 2 that for the shields?
Or was it Alexander? I
Yeah,
don't
or maybe
know.
it was Alexander. But anyways, he thought it was just between these 2 people and he didn't even hear Joe's name. So that's why he didn't
Right.
vote for Joe.
Yeah, you gotta pay attention to details, especially when you're playing the traders, because any misstep, it's going to be misinterpreted. So yeah, he's
Mhm.
he's
Especially
he's in
this
a
late in the
pickle.
game. because everyone is
Yeah,
laser focused, and you now only have such a small group to really observe, so you can really like dial in on different things.
yeah. So I think his explanation just raised more questions than, satisfying anybody. I think it just created more suspicion on him.
Yeah, because I mean, ever since he returned back a couple episodes ago, I feel like everything has shifted for him, and he hasn't really been able to gain everybody's full trust since then.
Right. So
Um,
yeah, that's all I have until the round table.
yeah, and then at which point it's now disclosed that there's two more roundtables to go where the people that get voted out have to disclose who they are. So it's this roundtable and then the next roundtable, and then after that, they won't know if they voted off a traitor or not. So yeah, really
Right.
getting down to the end here.
Yeah. So Leon goes first at the
Hmm.
round table and apologizes to Joe, and then turns on Frankie, and then she tries to defend herself.
And then turns the table back on Leon. And it's like, why did
Right.
you relay the information to Leanne? Like, why did you try to basically
Hmm.
stir the pot there?
And then Freddie jumps in and
Hmm.
confronts Leon,
Yep.
and then
Like, why didn't he take Jake's thing about Linda's turn of the head seriously? Because, Leon was the only one that was
right.
like, I don't think Linda is a traitor. And so that gets brought into light.
Yeah, this round table was at least engaging. There was a lot of confrontations, a lot of people trying to defend themselves and deflecting, and so at least it was a pretty good round table, I thought.
I know I wasn't too sure like what to highlight at the round table because I felt like there were so many different ones pointing out different things at each other. I mean, I have Joe or Jake brings up Frankie, Joe questions
Mhm.
Alexander, Frankie questions Mina. So yeah, there's definitely a lot more engagement and a lot of suspecting going on or suspicions
Yeah, so I like that. And then was it Frankie? Yeah, Frankie confronts Mina, who tries to defend herself, and then Mina accuses Freddie of sneaking around rather than bringing her name up, where she could
at the round
defend
table.
herself.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah,
Yeah, I thought
he's doing
Mina
it in this.
made really good points. I thought that was a really good defense on her side because Frankie thinks that Mina is quiet at round tables, and Mina gave examples of when she spoke up
Mhm.
and was the initial person to like throw out somebody's name. And then yeah, with Frankie going around the castle and not giving her a chance to defend herself at a round table, I thought it was a really good defense as well.
Yeah,
But ultimately, the votes are casted, and Leon is the one who goes home. But it was down to
yeah.
Leon and Frankie this round.
Yeah, I could kind of see, just in the episode, it was everything, all signs were pointing towards Leon. So
Yeah.
it was unfortunate because he tried to play a different game and it just didn't work out for him.
Yeah.
He changed
I mean,
strategies.
yeah. Yeah. And I think that kind of went south for him. Just changing strategies this hard in the
Yeah,
game. Yeah.
yeah,
It's kind of hard to come back. Like I said, no one fully trusted him when he came back from that one mission, anyways. So there's already too
yeah.
much suspicion on him.
I think it would have been better for him to. I mean, his one ally was Leanne. I think it would have been better for him to really cement that relationship and at least have her as
Hmm.
an ally. I think that's
Yeah.
where he kind of messed up.
I think to play this game, you have to have someone you can trust, whether that's ends up being a faithful or traitor, regardless, you need to have someone that will also help you take you to the end of the game. Because if they're a
Right.
traitor, they'll, keep you in, or if they're another faithful, at least you have another vote, or another voice for you at the round table that can help you.
This is not a solo game. It's
No.
yeah, it's just not working out for everybody. Everybody that's tried to do it on their own, it just hasn't worked out.
Yeah. And I feel like in general, if you're playing a solo game in Traders, you're too easy of a person to be let go because nobody's going to
Right.
be impacted by your
Right.
departure. So this is where after Leon goes home, people are sad to find out that, oh, he was truly a faithful. And then they get the news to get ready for a dinner party for a little pick me
Right.
up.
Some saw it as a pick me up, others did not want to be there.
Yeah, others were upset. But I did note that this is where Joe hugs Freddie and he says Mina has to be one. So that was like the only real talk before this dinner party.
Right,
And
right,
the dinner party was nice. I mean, they really there was no
right.
strategies being discussed. It was really just them talking about themselves a little and what they would do if they won the money. So,
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's kind of nice to take a break from the game and they could all just be who they really are and
yeah.
talk about their lives outside the game. So, that part is nice. And yeah, I like that, to see what they would do with the money and got to learn a little bit more about each
Mhm.
each of the players that are left.
I think it was a good mental break for them. So,
Yeah.
anyways, they go to the turret, and Nina and Charlotte have the option to seduce another person into becoming a traitor or to murder, which they ultimately decide to murder. And the options are between Jake, Joe, and Leanne.
Yes.
This is actually the ending scene is where
Hmm.
they cut into the confessionals to say, yeah, the Charlotte's like, don't trust anybody. And Mina's like, I trust her. So,
Right.
yeah, different
Yeah,
ends
kind
on
of
a
sad.
different note.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of interesting to see those two perspectives, but yeah, I just
Hmm.
feel bad for Mina because she was just a little too trusting with Charlotte.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, but Charlotte's just playing a different game. But
she is.
yeah, so we'll see what happens between them.
Yeah, stay tuned till next time.
Yay!